Week 18 of the fantasy basketball season. Here's a few forwards I look to sell and trade this week. The first forward, Paul George of the Philadelphia 76ers. So Paul George, it's been a problem all season long staying healthy and putting up numbers. And at this point, with the deadline approaching in the next couple days here at the end of the week for fantasy owners, I would sell him off on the year. 16.5 points a game, 5.3 boards, 4.3 assists, 1.8 steals, 2.4 threes, and 43% from the field. So with Embiid, pretty much he missed the whole season as it is, and now out for the season. For his points to go down 6 points per game, that's a huge problem, and a 3 a game as well from last season's averages. In the last couple weeks, numbers have bumped up just a bit. 18.6 points a game, 5.4 boards, 3.4 assists, 2.2 steals, 2.6 threes, and 47% from the field. But now he missed yesterday's ball game with the groin injury, is Paul George, and he's someone I just can't trust, and he's another guy that missed a bunch of games this season for this Philadelphia 76er team. And now at this point, obviously they know they're not going to go for it this season. They try to make a play-in spot. Happy if they lose games and tank to get a high draft pick. February 24th versus the Bulls, 19 points, 2 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 2 threes, 50% from the field. February 26th at the Knicks, 25 points, 8 boards, 7 assists, 3 steals, 4 threes, 45% from the field. And March 1st versus the Warriors, 17 points, 8 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, a block, 3 threes, 46% from the field. So he's shown some flashes over the last few games, but like I said, with many factors, he's banged up. Once again, is Paul George. His 6th team, I believe they're going to sit him out towards the end of the season where they're not going anywhere this year in a very disappointing year. And let's call it how it is. Paul George, he's definitely been a bust this season, especially getting a $50 million per year contract on a max 4-year deal, and he just hasn't done much this season with the numbers dropping off and missing a lot of ball games. So obviously he was a bust in fantasy basketball, and if you could trade him for anything of decency, is Paul George. With not performing well and just banged up all season long. Obviously this is the last chance for owners to do it this week. Next forward, Kawhi Leonard, his former teammate of Los Angeles Clippers. So Kawhi, he still goes out there, he puts up numbers, he still tries, but another guy very injury prone. He's missed the majority of the season, where he's only been back now the last 6-8 weeks. Is Leonard on the year, 17.9 points a game, 5 boards, 2.7 assists, 1.2 steals, 1.9 threes, and 46% from the field. But the last couple weeks, 24 a game, 6.5 boards, 2.8 assists, 2 steals, 3.3 threes, and 47% from the field. But Kawhi Leonard, we know the problem. He's not going to play back-to-backs. And even some games, like say 3 out of 6 games, he might not even play sometimes, is Kawhi Leonard, where he's got to sit one of those 3 in the 6-day span. So the last few games, February 26th at the Bulls, 17 points, 8 boards, 4 assists, 4 steals, a block, 3 threes, 42% from the field. February 28th at the Lakers, 21 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, 3 threes, 47% from the field. On March 2nd, he had a monster game at the Lakers once again, 33 points, 10 boards, 3 threes, 56% from the field. So like I said, Kawhi Leonard, he's a great talent, but all these knee injuries and ankle injuries over the last couple seasons, where he was a top player in this league 4 or 5 years ago, obviously he can't be healthy to be on the court a whole lot, is Kawhi Leonard. And like I said, he might run out of gas sooner than later, and they're going to try to preserve him. Once it gets closer to playoff time, well, obviously he's a full go in the playoffs for this Clipper team. So with all those factors, and Kawhi Leonard, like I said, he's not going to play back-to-backs. Even 3 out of 6, he's going to miss a game here and there. Coming off of 3 games in a row playing, and especially a 33-point game, this is a perfect time to sell him off this week while he's playing healthy and he's putting up numbers. In the third and final forward, I look to sell and trade John Collins, the Utah Jazz. So it's been a nice bounce-back season for Collins this year with the numbers going up, but this Jazz team going nowhere. Collins, he's been in and out of the lineup over the last couple weeks as well. And on the year, 18.6 points a game, 8.2 boards, 2.1 assists, a steal, 1.1 blocks, 1.5 threes, and 53% from the field. So Collins, he's giving fantasy owners 4 or 5 categories easily right now this season on the totals. But like I said, he hasn't been available. And with this Jazz team going nowhere this season, they're not going to rush him back to play a bunch of games where they're trying to tank to get a good draft pick as well. In the last month, 20.7 points a game, 7.8 boards, 1.3 blocks, 1.4 threes, and 54% from the field. So like I said, John Collins, he's missed 4 out of 5 games now for this Utah Jazz team. And like I said, there's no reason for them to rush him back and play him much towards the end of the season as it's winding down. Last few games he's played: in February 13th versus the Clippers, 17 points, 7 boards, and assists, a steal, block, 2 threes, 45% from the field. February 21st versus the Thunder, 26 points, 3 boards, assist, a steal, a 3, 57% from the field. Then he missed February 22nd, the 24th, and 26 games. And then February 28th versus the T-Wolves, a big comeback game, 29 points, 12 boards, and assists, a block, 3 threes, 66% from the field. Then he missed March 2nd's game and last night's game, March 3rd. So like I said, the back, obviously a very bad injury. If that back goes, no mobility, can't do much. And like I said, with them out of it, and this is a pretty serious injury as it's getting for John Collins, it seems. He's a sell candidate this week. If you could get anything of decency, I would do it, because like I said, if he's out for the remainder of the season as Collins and you get nothing from him, one of your better players most likely on your roster, where he's definitely had a good season, it's not going to be good for fantasy owners. So this week with the deadline coming, he's definitely a forward I would sell. So that's a few forwards I look to sell and trade for week 18 of the fantasy basketball season.